That second half performance against Wrexham was encouraging, fans say, but can we please sort out set pieces? How are you doing? Hope you're all well. I'm Mark, I'm a neutral, and we are reflecting back on that Wrexham game as we now head into the international break. We're also going to talk about refereeing standards and the A to Z of Birmingham City. Hope you're doing well. This week, we're joined by JJ, who many of you will know if you follow anyone on Birmingham City on Twitter. You know JJ always has an opinion or two on all things Blues. How are you, JJ? Fresh back from Wrexham. That was a good second half, wasn't
Well,
it?
yeah, I was going to say, yeah, I am fresh back from Wrexham now. Needed the Saturday to recover. Um, but yeah, it was an interesting second half against Wrexham. I'd say it's probably the most encouraging away half we've had, bar maybe Blackburn. But again, like I said, there's not much competition. The standards are very low with away performances this season for us, unfortunately.
Yeah, Chris Davis has been coming for a bit of stick, hasn't he, in a couple of recent games. First of all, where do you stand on the fans that are even saying, look, he's on limited time? Is that unfair?
To be honest, I did kind of tweet a bit of reaction the other day after Sheffield Wednesday said he's lost the plot after he'd subbed off Tommy Doyle after he was bar Barry Bannon, the best player on the pitch, in my opinion. But no, I'd give him till Christmas, I'd say. Again, like we may be sat, 15th or 16th at the minute, but the league's very open. We've not even played 10 games. I'd say give him a bit more time.
Okay. Let's have a look at some tweets that came before the game and after the game as well. This was before the game. Dan says, starting Leonard over Doyle is getting even more laughable by the minute. That was one. And then Matt here says, I would like to see what Doyle and Leonard look like next to each other. I was disappointed when the final whistle went. We were much better. That second half reminded me somewhat of last season. In the end, it should have been 3 points, but I can't complain with 1 point away from home. Where do you sit on this Leonard and Doyle conversation that many fans have been tweeting about?
So the way I see it, I think Tommy Doyle is arguably one of our best players, if not our best. I think he's definitely got to have more minutes. Paik and Iwata are playing so poorly. But when it comes to Leonard, I just feel like, because obviously before Iwata came, Leonard was the guy. It's a really good start. And obviously Davis has his liking towards Iwata, which, yeah, he's had his time at Celtic with him. But yeah, I think it's tough in that regard. I don't think Leonard and Doyle would work that well together. But again, do we know if we try it? But I think it's something you try it in like a cup game or something. I don't think you go and experiment in the leagues. It's not like last season where you can experiment with lineups. It's a lot tougher this year.
We mentioned Uatu there as well. I mean, Regan here says, is Uatu inverting to defensive midfielder from right back? It could be Chrissy Davey masterclass incoming. Obviously, that was during the game there. Yeah. What do you think? How do you think he did?
Not too much on the performance here, but I'm just going to touch on the Wrexham goal. Obviously, we'd be trying this zonal system, and Watta's lost his man. So you could argue it's not aged the best. But I do feel like, as of late, Iwata's been poor in midfield, as I've said. So I feel like him playing up right back actually somewhat worked a little bit better, but it's one of those.
Okay. We also got to talk about the issues up front as well, and Kyogo, and he just needed that goal, didn't he, to be onside? He just needed a little bit of luck. Where do you stand on him? I know our other team have said, look, we need to get off his back. Other fans have said he's not worth 10 million. Which camp are you in?
Right. With Kyogo, if you know anything about football, you know Kyogo's a brilliant player. And the reason I say that is I think sometimes there's a lot of people that won't watch football with their eyes and just look at numbers and be like, oh, he's not scored a league goal. If you've watched his performances, he's not actually played that badly. Yes, he needs to be more clinical. That's an area I think he's definitely got to improve on. But Kyogo, again, I know he got the offside goal, but he's been doing the right thing. He's been making the runs. It's been cases of people not finding him, etc., etc. But again, if once he starts putting the ball in the back of the net, everyone will be praising him and whatnot. So stay on whatever side you will with it. But I'm backing him to the hills, Thiago.
Good shout. Good shout. Other players that we need to talk about from that game. Yeah, I mean, Clara. Yeah.
He's brilliant.
Difficult, really, because of the different leagues he's been in. But have you been impressed with his start to the season?
I mean, yeah, I mean, there have been a couple games, such as I think was it Leicester or Stoke, and obviously Coventry, where he hasn't played amazingly, but I think he's definitely fit to be our captain. Performance-wise, I think he has had some very, very solid games, but I think it's different this year. He's not got a Ben Davies next to him. He's not got a Bielik. And I do want to quickly just touch on this. Our centre-half pairing, I don't think we've got the right fit next to Clara.
Yeah.
But I think that's somewhere where you probably address in January before things start to go south.
I mean, just in terms of players bought in, are you surprised the club didn't do more yourself? I know our other panelists have spoken before about, look, you know, that the club made noises that they were going to have, you know, make sure that this wasn't just about staying up; it was about pushing on and
promotion,
some,
not promotion. Sorry, building on promotion.
Some fans haven't perhaps seen it that way. There's been a bit lackluster in terms of the numbers brought in and the quality.
So, I mean, what I will say in terms of the window, I don't think we've had that poor of a window. I think Jack Robinson was a good one to bring in, but I do wonder. I'm looking goalkeeper wise, sound. Right back situation, it's not the worst. It's a left back situation that worries me because if you're looking at actual left backs, not makeshifts, you've only got Alex Cochrane that's fully fit, and even then, is he fully fit now? Potentially not. But the only other actual left back we have out and out is Lee Buchanan, and obviously he's probably not going back till Christmas. Injury record's not the greatest, etc., etc. So it's one of them where I think we should have recruited there, and I've been very vocal on that. And I think, like you've just touched on the midfield, I think we need that physical presence, such as, I'm not going to name a player, for example, but I just think that's where we lack that kind of bit in midfield, that bit of grit.
Okay. The next point was made by several fans, JJ, I think, including yourself. At one point, Brad says, "We'll take the point after the first half, how the first half went, but please, can we spend a full week of the international break doing something with set pieces, FFS?" Up the effing Blues. The other point here was saying, look, Jonathan Grounds, who obviously is a set piece coach, get him gone. What is it with defending set pieces in Birmingham at the moment that it's just not working? I mean, for every corner you look vulnerable.
Yeah and no. I do think there are, because think about how many corners are taken. You are eventually bound to concede from one. Obviously, we're looking at Friday's game. I think the zonal stuff's got to go. I think you just got to go simple man to man. I've never been a fan of this zonal marking and whatnot because it's very easy. For example, like you saw on Friday, for someone to just go and infiltrate the zone, flick on, you're 1-0 down. But it's not just defending now. I think it's attacking. I think we need to be. I don't know how to word it, but it's not clinical. But we've had this problem for a while. Like stuff like long throws have never been a specialty. The last season, say, we were prolific from corners was probably 2018, 2019. We had Michael Morrison. He must have bagged about 5 of them from corners. But yeah, it's one of those problems that it's not the world's worst problem, but it's something you need to address. And I'd like to hope they would over this international break. And I've got faith in Davis and co to do so.
Any other players need a shout out from you for their performance, good or bad, from that game on Friday night?
Very good question there. Massive praise for James Beadle. Obviously, he's a young lad.
Yeah.
I think he's literally like a year older than me or whatnot. But he's gone and obviously it's a tough game to be thrown into. I'm not going to go into all his Hollywood derby stuff because I don't buy into it. But that being said, obviously Friday night under the lights, atmosphere is all right-ish. His first league game for us. Obviously, I understand Allsop being swapped because that's we've brought Beadle to compete with Allsop, and I think that's what he is doing now. But yeah, I think he had a brilliant game, James Beadle. So lots of praise for him.
Yeah, he put off some brilliant saves as well. I think after Allsop's performance midweek as well. In the previous game, he needed a rest. Good stuff. Right. Well, yeah. On to the international break then, and then after the break, we got another run of 4 or 5 games before we have to stop again. Does it come at a good time, the break, do you think, for Birmingham, just to get a couple of key players back from injury, just to press that reset button, or good momentum at the moment?
Well, I mean, I think that Wrexham point is kind of. I don't want to be too reactionary here, but I think you look at the last bit of form. It's the first point away I've had since a month and a half away. At home, we're not, again, that draw Sheffield Wednesday is a bit questionable, but we're not awful. Obviously, we still got that brilliant home record, but it's one of those where I think, like you touched on injuries, yeah, it's going to help us. The teams, look, because like you said about the window, this transfer window, we've brought in, say, 10 plus players, I want to say, and they're going to need time to gel, because like you're looking at Kyogo's never played in the Championship, Norman's never played in the Championship, Fujimoto's never played in the Championship. Duck, she's obviously injured. He's never played in the Championship. There's multiple players that are going to have to adapt, and I think that time and training and whatnot is going to help them.
Okay. 9 played though, JJ. Now 3 won, 3 drawn, 3 lost. I mean, it's typical Birmingham, isn't it?
Very well, we're normally more mediocre, but obviously in the Championship. But yeah,
where do you see yourself finishing? Quite honestly, realistically, now you've had a chance to assess all the other teams as well.
I don't want to make a prediction on that this early, because I think there's still a lot of time for things to improve, even worsen. But like the thing is, I mean, obviously, like I said, we need time to gel as a team. There will be times where they will click. There will be times where they won't click. But I think, just going back to what you were saying about obviously being 9 games played, I'm just going to pull up our fixture list now, because we have not had, and I'm not going to play because everyone's got to play everyone ultimately. But so far, I think things will look worse than they will. And then you look at our fixture list, we've had some tough fixtures. Like obviously Friday. Wrexham away is not, I know they've not won at home yet, but it's not an easy place to go necessarily. They're always up for it against us too, mind you. Coventry away, probably the hardest place in the league to go at the minute. I don't like admitting it, but it is. They score a lot of goals. Stoke away, not an easy place. Leicester away, not easy. And you do look at Ipswich at home, it's not. Those are 4 fixtures I've named there. They're not the games that you rock up expecting, oh, yeah, we're going to battle these. So,
it
is what it is.
Yeah, it's a good point. Good point. Well made. Let us know in the comments then what you think your predictions for the season will be. Also this week, then we're also having a quick chat about refereeing standards as well. I don't know what your impression on this is, Jay, but the champ. Well, you've been League One, so you have got you can compare it there for us. But there's been lots of teams making complaints in the last couple of weeks about the standards, whether that's just because the weather, the greasy pitches, the game's fast, I'm not sure, but where do you think we're at in this country with the standard of refereeing? Is it something we just need to stop talking about and just let them get on with it? Because, look, it's not getting any better.
I think, to be honest, I used to ref myself, so I know what it's like to be a ref sometimes. But to be honest with you, the standard is quite poor. I think you're looking at games where the refs deciding them with poor decisions. Like, look at our game against Ipswich. Kyogo goal, I don't think it should have been disallowed. Penalty, controversial-ish. Maybe it should have been, maybe it shouldn't have been. Sorry, maybe it should have, maybe it shouldn't have been. But there's many instances here, and it's not just our game, and it feels like every week there's at least 3 or 4 ridiculous decisions. And I've again, like you've touched on League One in the Championship, I've actually found, and I don't know if it was just because we had a better team or whatnot and we were winning, but I found in League One, the standard of officiating was weirdly better.
Wow.
I'm not sure why. I don't know if other teams this season, if you'll have, like, for example, Cardiff will come back up and say the same. I don't know why it'll be, but at the end of the day, you've got to put the ball in the net, so you can't always blame the rest for that.
Yeah, there's certainly been a dip in the Championship, though, I think, in recent years. I hope we don't bring VAR in. Let us know. Let us know your thoughts.
See, right. Funny you mention that. I actually wouldn't mind VAR on the Championship at this point, because it gets to a point where you just get sick of it. But yeah, that's just my opinion on it. People may agree, disagree.
Right then, last week, if you were watching, we started with Adam and the team, the A to Z of Birmingham City. We're asking you this week if we could have one player or one event, any manager or owner in history, beginning with the letter B, which player would go in there? Now, we asked AI this question, and they put in Bakuna. Many of you, I'm sure, will raise an eyebrow at that, or some of you might even agree with it. JJ, we've cut you cold on this, so apologies. But just off the top of your head, are there any players, if we had one page in an encyclopedia dedicated to each letter of the alphabet in Birmingham City's history, can you think of a player for the letter B that would
I think there's a very obvious one. No, I almost just missed a very obvious one. It's not Bakuna. Honourable mention to Jeremy Baylor, because he's a player I absolutely love for
Okay,
ages.
yeah.
But it's not going to be him. I think it's got to be Mr. 22, Jude Bellingham. Again, a lot of people don't realise this. Obviously, when we retired his number, people are, oh, they've retired his number, da da da. If we hadn't have sold Bellingham, I'm fairly sure we would have gone into administration or whatnot. And again, you know what the finances were like under a BSHL. They weren't great. Thankfully, now we've got much better owners who do care about the club. Who are, like, for example, Friday, Tom Wagner, he's gone and put, I don't know how much, but he's gone and obviously put a free bar on for the fans at half time, which I did enjoy, I'll be honest. But yeah, I mean, even that video about him that's going around now, people are laughing and all this.
Yeah, what do you think to
It's
that?
so nice to have an owner that cares about the club. I don't agree with the way he's conveyed it, but I think all he's trying to do is just spur things on, and, you know, I think it's been took the wrong way. Got a lot of time for Wagner.
Yeah, was he right to have a go at the away end? I mean, you were in it. Was it quiet the first half?
To be honest, I think we've had worse away ends this season, as bad as it sounds. At the same time, I did say this. I do think I can see why it was quiet, given the last 3 away games. Because, like, obviously, it's just been dross. When you go 1-0 down at a game like that, people's heads are going to drop and people want to be singing from the top of their lungs. But again, his speech must have worked, because we went and scored 20 seconds into the second half. So,
okay.
Yeah, maybe it's sign of things to come.
Right. Okay. Bellingham is a shout, though. Yeah, well done. But can you beat that in the comments? Some of you, obviously older than JJ, might be able to remember even more significant players for.
Someone's going to say Joe Bellingham, aren't they?
Well, let's find out. Let us know in the comments. Right, JJ, thank you very much. Apologies, you're doing it solo this week. The rest of them on holiday.
That's all right.
We will catch up with them. Catch up next
One man army.
Yeah, you'll know well for your debut. Congratulations. We'll see you guys then in 2 weeks' time, when, of course, we'll be looking ahead or looking back on the whole result as they come to town for our next home game. So join us for that. Have a great 2 weeks off for the international break. We'll see you in a fortnight. Have a good one. Thanks, JJ.
Thank you for